Like, what happened? Did you do it? Did you do it? All I know is somebody's going to take responsibility for this. They are polished. Good gravy. Well, the day hath come. I need to mow here, and I thought, well, if I'm going to move it to mow, I might as well move it to use it and mow. 2 birds, 1 stone. And it needs a hydraulic cylinder, and I have a few of these hanging around in the barn, and this one looked pretty good, pretty darn tootin'. It's got the hardware with it, and the plumbing looks really good. Like, if them ain't new hoses, then I don't know what is. So we're going to throw this, oh, what are we calling this? A 2x8 on here and go for broke. Of course, we got to get everything greased up, find the zerks. Looks like Payless with West might have zerked these up. They're definitely covered up, which I do like. A lot of guys, they'll grease a zerk and then wipe it all clean and then go out and use it. It's like, no, leave the excess grease on there so that the little ball doesn't coagulate with filth. But yeah, let's get her done. We'll figure out what tractor we're gonna use first. I don't know, man. What are you guys thinking? All right, so you got 3 holes here. Bink, bink, bink. This is for a 16-inch cylinder, and these 2 are for the 8, which is what I have here. And the difference is going to be depth. I think this one is 9.5 inch, and this is going to give me a 12-inch depth. So I'm just going to play around with it and see what happens. Got new shovels. There's a bunch of stuff about this I like. We're just going to see how much grease these things can take. Yeah, I pump grease into these until I can see something coming out. So either way, get the cylinder hooked up. All right, well, it's on there, and I went the bottom one. I figure I'll start off a little bit deeper. And I left the auction tag on there, but yeah, let's go get this hooked to a tractor. I gotta disconnect this, but I'm not gonna run the cylinder yet, but I will disconnect that for sure and get some grease in it. I don't know, let's go find a tractor to hook this thing to. 7 shank. Now these do come in 10 shank and 13. They do have extensions for them. I believe they're 2.5 foot on each side for 10 shank, 3 more shanks, and 13 shanks. So yeah, this is the old 7 shanker, and a lot of people are like, well, 10 to 15 horse per shank. I don't know, man. With these straight shovels like that, I don't know. And another thing I'm going to tell you right out of the gate, I've moldboard plowed, I've disked, I've no-till planted. One thing I've never done in my life is chisel plow. So I don't know if there's any complexity to it. I read the book, the operator's manual, but I'm guessing it's just get the right tractor, drop it and go. Not quite as complex as moldboard plowing. Now, most of the time, if a field's already been worked and it's not sod, I can just disc it and mulch it and plant it, you know, lime it, fertilize it, plant it. I'm good. But, you know, again, I've never chisel plowed before, so this can be a first for me. First on the channel, etc., etc. Let's see, you could pull it. We could get you going. And you could pull it, I bet, maybe. Of course, you know, that would defy all 10 horsepower per shank logic. Oh, we know you could pull it. You might even actually damage it pulling it, because you wouldn't know what's back there. You just keep right on a rolling, and then rolling right over here. You might even be able to do it. So let's start. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Who's gonna pull it? I still don't know. Actually, I'm lying to you. I do know. I didn't even need to play eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I already knew beforehand. You are it. Been a while. Regulators, mount up. Oh, got a lot of dust on her. Yes, sir. Somebody was saying, oh, Farmall guys, you're the only ones that wash tractor before going out the field. You got jokes. Alright, so this is my 1954 Farmall Super MTA with the newish, I'd say they're 85-90% tread Firestone Field and Roads 15.5 38s. They're not loaded, no rear wheel weights. And this is today's setup. Boy, this could be a match, or I could find out it's just too much for it. I don't know. You don't know until you know, and that's what I've learned in life. I will save you the agony of me greasing it, hooking the hydraulics up, taking the, I'll call it the transport rod off of there. But yeah, how about that for a rig? I really think that 50 was more geared toward like the 460 and the 560 tractors, maybe even the 660, you know, at 13 bottoms. But I don't know. Let's go, let's show. Yeah, so these are the breakaways, and you know, you're plowing down the field, whatever, and this gives here. Well, this will give too. Plop. Push it right back in. Well, sometimes there's no sense in waiting until you're operating to have issues. I've either got a bad cylinder that I bought at auction, wouldn't surprise me. At least the hoses are good. Or I don't have enough hydraulic power on a 2-inch cylinder, and that could be. But brought the 826 out, and we're going to find out. All right, let's find out. Well, that pretty much narrows it down. Cylinder's okay. I just don't have enough oomph, and I don't know the poundage, the PSI on that system. I think it could be 700. I'll have to look. But I know with the M, and it just depends on what you're lifting with the H and the M. You need a 4-inch cylinder to really lift anything with any weight at all. I've got this drop down, not wheels up, but yeah, and I mean, even it worked so good that I bent my transport rod a little bit, not bad. But yeah, you know, if I'm going to use that Super MTA, I'm going to have to get a bigger cylinder, which I have. I'll show you one like this. This is a 4x8, and I got this a few years ago and put all new plumbing on it, of course. And man, it the M lifts and lowers these discs like nothing, and so did the MTA. So I've got them all the way wheels down, and what I'm going to do is hook them back up to the MTA and see if there's enough. Maybe it was because that's empty. I know when you add a cylinder, sometimes you got to add oil to your system, but yeah, let's hook them back up to the MTA, see what we got going. Well, this can be one of them days where I probably am going to end up using the 826 to pull this thing right out of its socket. But the reality is, I don't know, one last ditch effort. I'm going to add a little more hydraulic oil to the reservoir and see if that helps. But nah, I think we need at least a 3-4 inch cylinder. 8 inches is fine, but just need a little more juice to get the lift. These old antiques, man, they weren't made for lifting much heavy. Well, you can see what happened there. I wasn't able to control the depth because the cylinder's wrong for that tractor, and I ended up being about 14 inches deep. Well, I'm over the shovels, so I'm pretty deep, and I ended up spinning, and I don't think it would have mattered if I was loaded in the rear and weighted down just as much as I could be. It ain't pulling 7 shanks at 14 inches deep. It's just not going to do it. So I'm gonna hook the 826 up and rip this thing a new one. Now I'm angry pulling. Beep, beep. Yeah, instead of running to Tractor Supply or parts store and getting a bigger cylinder at the moment, I'm just gonna hook it up to the 826. It's really why I bought it anyways, but there will come a day I put a bigger cylinder on there where I can control the depth and try the 400 and the SMTA. Right now, let's get this beast rolling. Boom. Well, she's hooked up. 826 to the rescue. Not really though, I just need a bigger cylinder. I really want to emphasize that. I know, man, I'm just waiting. There's going to be sharpshooters. Oh, man, I pick up heavier stuff than that with my MTA, and I have the same size cylinder. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure. But I'm sure we're going to bury the sucker wheels up and drag it. Oh, I don't know. I'll probably go 1-4 direct drive, and then maybe pull back on the TA and see what happens. May not need it, might, I don't know. Let's go, let's show. Yeah, you can see polished up to the shovels, which I don't know, I haven't measured that. Could be 12 inches, could be 14, could be 16, but it really doesn't make a lot of sense to go up to here. So I am wheels down, but I'm controlled for perfect depth. This tractor's not loaded in the rear or rear wheel weights either. This was used for hay, a hay operation, and but I'll change this around. I'll get it, you know. A lot of guys don't like rim guard in the rear, but these are 8x Firestones. I probably will go something in there, windshield washer fluid, and a couple sets of rear wheel weights, and then of course front weights too, because you do get a little lighter in the front when you pull deep in the back. But yeah, does it pull 7 shanks? Yes. Would it pull better with ballast? Yes. But definitely polished her up. I'm going to make a trip around the field with those on there. I may need to pull one of those, but it's going to help me keep a little more even. Sometimes I'm running, I mean, you can see I've ran clear up to here, and there's just no need for that. Top it out right there, and we're good. Well, that's the job it's doing so far. This over here is sod. That hasn't been plowed in about 4 years. And when I hit that, there's a distinct difference. And I don't know, I've always called these stroke inhibitors. Stroke limiters, whatever. And I probably need one more right here. And then that'll set me at a perfect depth at shovel high, which is what I want. Because I find myself playing with the hydraulic lever just a little bit, but I don't know. And then You chisel plow guys, what do? You chisel plow and then come across it with a disc, because that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'll hit it twice with the disc, and then I'll end up cold mulching it. But before I cold mulch, I'll have a lime truck come in and spread for me, get this pH regulated. Sitting here in a truck, and I just realized something. The fuel gauge still reads full, and I just chisel plowed like 5 acres. I'm used to gas tractors. I'll see you at the next video. I'm gonna get back home, do more chisel plowing.